Well, my opinion, I believe everyone, just about, except for probably only one, maybe two, is mentally ill. Therefore, they have no right. The Constitution gives them no right to turn a case opinion into a law. Nothing in the Constitution gives the U.S. Supreme Court the power to create law out of case opinions. So Terry versus Ohio is a case opinion. Pennsylvania versus Mims is a case opinion. All of them is opinions of the judges. They're not to be seen and enforced as law. They're only case opinions of a judge. So for them and Congress, everyone in the government allowing these police to enforce them as law, and then the police enforcing them as law because they don't know how the system is actually to be ran and how it actually is to work, is mentally ill. Because all they're doing is creating imaginary crap for control. They have no authority. They can't create law. Only Congress can write down, and then they pass it. It goes to another branch, they pass it, goes to the president, and he'll say whether to pass it or put it aside or veto it. And then it goes back to one of the branches again, and they go through it again. That's how it works. And then eventually it goes back to the president, and then the president says yes, it becomes law, or he vetoes it, or it's set aside, and then after so much time it becomes law. And then the president can say, I didn't sign it, I didn't turn it into law. But you're still just as guilty because you put it aside, didn't veto it, and let it become law. So it's just as good as signing it. It doesn't matter what you want the people to believe. You're still just as crooked. So they're all under an imaginary utopia of creating all this imaginary crap that they're not supposed to, outside of the way the Constitution says it all is to work. There's no such thing as a two-party system in the Constitution. The Constitution does not mention anywhere in it Republicans and Democrats, democracy. It says we're to be ran under a republic. Read the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. We're supposed to be ran under a republic. The founders of America and they're the creators of the government was anti-democracy, because that's what they were under when they went against the king to create North America. They were anti-democracy. Democracy is dictatorship. It's communism. It's about a kingdom. We're not supposed to have a kingdom. We're just supposed to be a country that's full of free people. Home of the brave, land of the free. You know, land of the free, home of the brave. That's all we're supposed to be. And everybody's supposed to be brave enough to fight for their right to be free. To have free will so they can be free. But instead, they've been brainwashed from childhood all the way up to believe that they're living in a free country and that they're free when really they're not. The U.S. Supreme Court does not have the delegated authority to turn their case opinions into law. Congress is not passing them into law. The president is not passing them into law. They're just allowing it to be seen and enforced as law, and you're letting them. Because of your ignorant consent and not rising up and saying that is not law, it was not passed into law by Congress and the president, it cannot be enforced as law. None of these regulations and statutes and edicts and acts and rules and etc. can be seen as law. They're not law. Policy is not law. A policy of a business is not a law. It's a rule. It's a policy. If it was a law, it would flat out say law. There wouldn't be the words regulations, policies, edicts, ordinances, mandates. It would just say law. Because they can't make laws. They can only make all that other stuff. Acts, codes, statutes, CFRs, whatever that 3 letters represents. I'll look that up one day. But, yeah. They're just court case opinions. The U.S. Supreme Court cannot create laws, and since they allow them to be seen as law and enforced as law, they're mentally ill, every one of them, because none of them's coming out and saying they're not laws, they're our opinions. And they cannot be seen as law because the Constitution does not allow it. The state Constitution does not allow judges of the states to create or turn a court case opinion of theirs into a law. The Declaration of Independence states plain and clear, if you read it, and it ain't that long, it's 1 page, governors cannot create law. So these governors sitting here creating laws is unconstitutional. It's against the Declaration of Independence. The Constitution does not state that governors can create laws to enforce upon the people that reside in the states. Nothing says they can create law. Not even the 10th Amendment does not state they can create law. The only thing they have authority over is the territory that's called Texas or whatever, and that's it. They don't have authority over the people. Nothing in it states they have authority over U.S. citizens, Americans, or the people. Nothing. Read it and tell me different. Show me the proof that I'm wrong. They don't have any authority. No man has reign over another man. Meaning, no man has authority over another man. They can't create authority and say, we're wearing this, we got this and that, and then the state says, we're your authority. The state can't say nothing. It's not a person. It's not a human. It has no eyes. It has no brain. And it can't speak because it has no flesh and blood and bones. And a tongue. It can't write law. The state's imaginary. It'd be like saying the unicorn is right there. And you're like, where? No, it's right there. You just imagine it and you see it and it's right there and now it exists. Same thing with the government. It's a building. And then they call it a government building. Well, yeah. But it's just sitting there. It ain't moving. It ain't saying nothing. It ain't doing anything because it can't. It does not say anywhere that people in the government can create law. It just says Congress. It doesn't say the persons of Congress. It just says Congress. Congress is imaginary. It's a group of people gathering up together and just labeling themselves as something that they're not. It's an imaginary game. So, I'm going to leave it at that. You all take care. Bye.